What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Convo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in.
What's going on, Cuzzos? It is your host, Mo Lovely, and
Renaissance Ronnie.
Welcome back to another episode of Cuzzo Convo. Thank you for joining us, and for those of you that are new, welcome. And for all of our other distant Cuzzos that have been with us, hey, welcome back. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and recap Love and Marriage Huntsville from last weekend. We know we're coming up on a new episode on tomorrow, but we're going to go ahead and talk about last week's it was a lot happening. So obviously we start off with the Scots, whatever 0.0 they are.
They're 2.0.
Okay. Tisha and Marsau, and they're supposed to be having this date, whatever. I guess they're working on their date nights, date days, whatever, so that they can become closer and et cetera. And so, Tisha walks in looking all nice and beautiful, and she just was, very bubbly.
She's getting like, extra voluptuous, like she putting on weight, ain't she?
I don't know, like, it's funny. It seems like her weight kind of fluctuates. Like some scenes she looks that way, and then some scenes she doesn't. Like, so I don't know if it's
extra thick. I guess Marsau thought so too.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I like I said, it looked like some days she fluctuates, and I don't know if it's also like the hair. Like sometimes with like when her hair is straighter, she looks more like a little bit slimmer. When her hair is more whatever, she seems to be a little bit more, a little plumpisher. I don't know.
I was looking at her in that red patent leather spandex dress she had on in the confessional.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I said, this what's going on here? This is giving like they went to the little adult store. And she was like, so after I get done filming this confession, because y'all called me on my date day, I ain't changing for nobody. So as soon as I'm going to slip right on out of here and get to my husband. That's exactly what that outfit was giving, child. But anyway, so Marsau and Tisha, they're there, they're, having a little casual talk. And then our homeboy Marsau drops the bomb, and he's like, oh, so yeah, I told Melody to come by. And she was like, wait, what's going on? Like, it just flip the script, switch the energy, everything just like went from, oh, this is nice to yeah. And so I guess let's take this bit by bit. Okay. So what are your thoughts on, first of all, Marsau deciding to, if this was supposed to be, I guess, a date that they were having, that he decided that this was the day that he told her to come by at any time? Because he didn't necessarily say that I told Mel to come by like around this time and this time. He told her anytime, which meant that she could have showed up while they were together having their date. Because I don't know how long they were expecting. I don't know if they block off 2.5, 3 hours together, 4 hours. I don't know. But he told her to pop up. So let's start there. Was it appropriate for him to even invite Mel to the restaurant? Well, I'm sorry, let's go back, because that's not even he said that he was going to, that he had reached out to her. And then so let's actually start there with the reaching out. Let's start with the text message, and Tisha pretty much saying like, well, I didn't know about this, you never told me that you texted her or that you had a conversation with her, whatever. And then he says this. And I'll say my thoughts after you, but he goes, well, I didn't personally text her. My assistant did. So let's go from there. So let's first start off with the text message. Was it appropriate for Marsau to text Melody and say, hey, want to have a conversation, sit down with you, blah, 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 whatever, whatever?
I think it was appropriate. I mean, I think it was appropriate because of if going off of what he said, that at the meeting that they all had together when Miss Wanda and Mark was the topic of discussion, they agreed that if anything was coming down the pike or if somebody had something negative to say, they would discuss it with each other. Mm-hmm. So if that was his initial intent, then I don't see anything wrong with the text, mm-hmm. especially because they were just okay and destined. Even though, I mean, I know Tisha has the whole argument about her being her enemy or whatever. I think that the text message was valid.
Okay.
Just the text message part. I think that's valid.
Yeah. So, yeah, the text message didn't necessarily bother me. I think the most thing that probably bothered me in that interaction of when he was talking to her about the text message or the text message going out is when he was like, well, I didn't send her the text message personally, my assistant did. And I was just like, this sounds like a lie. I don't know why, like, I didn't believe him. I think that he was just trying to like save face in the sense of like, okay, well, I don't really want to go through this, Tisha, but yeah, no, I didn't text her personally. My assistant did. First of all, I didn't even.
I mean, which could be. I mean, I don't know if he's lying or not, but I understand that I understand where you're coming from because, I guess her whole argument was like, kind of like it made it seem like it was something sneaky about it or something else going on, and it feeds into the whole. Well, it fed into the whole jealousy thing. It feeds into the whole internet, and then Marsau has a thing for mail and all of that. So he probably was like, well, you know, I didn't personally, I didn't text her. Like, I think he was trying to basically say, like, I don't just be texting her. Like, but he probably just threw a little dash in there talking about, no, it wasn't me, it was my assistant. So that could be a lie.
Yes.
Like I said, to just make it seem like to make it seem like he's not saying I would just be like in the middle of the night texting mail or whatever.
Right. So I will say this. I think that, and even though I don't feel, if you are confident in your marriage and that you don't have any worries about what your husband is doing, I do think that Tisha for sure overreacted. But to play on the other side, I understand that the internet, obviously, like you were saying, it plays into this whole narrative of Marsau having a thing for mail. And because of that, I think that when she was like, wait, you're texting her, I think she just immediately like went to this whole like, because she knows. And again, I go back to what I think we were saying when we were at this spot. Was like, one thing that I feel like Tisha needs to understand is that I don't care what her and Mel have gone through. I think that at any point in time, I know this for a fact. Mel would have no issue with telling Tisha if Marsau ever acted out of character or had done any sort of thing of whether coming on flirting with her. Like, she ain't gonna have no issues because she gonna be like, see, this is what I've been trying to expose for the past 3, 4, 5 seasons, but nobody don't want to listen to me. So the thing is I think that Tisha has to like go within to be like, all right, first of all, I know that her and I don't necessarily get along, but I have to look at the past receipts. If she's been trying to tell me, or they've been trying to tell me this whole time that my husband has had, you know, extramarital affairs or whatever, then
the first thing she would have said, right? That would have been one of the first things she said. She'd have been like, but your man want me. So
Right. So I just hope that Tisha doesn't get too much and far into her head that this affects her to this point where she's like so I don't know, like she's just so bothered by it that it's just like, no, Tisha, this don't make sense. Like you can chill off of this. Now, as far as if you and Marsau, because this is my other question, if you and Marsau have never necessarily had a conversation about, hey, listen, I understand that we are doing a show together. And so because I understand we're doing a show together, this is how I would prefer for the communication to be from here on out. For whatever my insecurities are, because of what people tell me, because of what I see on the internet, I'm just going to be fully transparent. Is it possible from here on out that when you communicate with Mel, that either, like she said, it can be through a text thread of all three of us, and so she sees my name, and or that it's a phone call where I'm in the room, so that, you know, whatever, so there's just no boundaries and I'm not in my head like, what's going on and why is she even accepting this, whatever. Because I just think that when Tisha like goes into, and Kimmi has brought this up to her several times, and she's like, Tisha, well, why do you think that, or why do you feel like you're behaving in this way or this manner? She goes, and when she goes, it's like no getting her back. But child, she let us know her feelings about Mel real bad when she was like, that's this and this is my enemy, and I don't like, we ain't friends. And that's why I was just like, and I said it last week or whichever, when we were I said, when did this shift happen? Because you did a nice scene with her. I mean, that was some great acting that you did with Mel the other day when you guys were sitting, knowing that you weren't invited, unless you did that in the sense of some pettiness and being like, oh yeah, I know we intruding on your space and your time and your whatever, and so I'm just here to enjoy the intrusion, and you know, I don't care.
I think that, so the whole she's my enemy thing came from Mel. Mel was the one who said that Tisha was her enemy. So she's repeating what Mel said. So she's basically saying, okay, well, now we're enemies. But then it's like, then every time there's a get together or whatever, they're always in the same room. So she thinks that's keeping it cordial. But I think the cordial in Marsau's mind, but for whatever reason, not in hers, they crossed the cordial line when they went to Destin, because it wasn't just like a group setting and you know, Kimmi was having something and then everyone was invited, or Stormy was having something, everyone was invited. This was their personal space. And Martell, you know, invited them over, you know, just the two couples. So it kind of, like I said, I think in Marsau's mind, it crossed the cordial line. It was like, so y'all not necessarily being just cordial anymore. Maybe y'all are working towards mending. So I think that was his thought process, and her thought process was, no, I just was playing nice because we went over there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I also don't agree with Marsau's thing, because you can be cordial and not like be friends with people. Like,
yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think you understand the definition of cordial, because I definitely didn't agree to that. I'm like, oh, I'm cordial with a lot of, like, on my old job, I was cordial with everybody.
I was getting ready to say, you go to work and you be cordial all day.
Right. I'm like, and it was like two people that I rocked with the hardest. Everybody else got a hello, how you doing, whatever. Yes, we could sit down and have lunch in our you know, the lounge or whatever like that. But when it came down to like whatever, there was some people that would be like, and goodbye, enjoy your evening. We got it, you know, like nothing further than that. When we see each other, that's just that. But yeah, no, cordial don't mean that I'm over here, whatever. Again, can we exist in the same space? Yes, cordial, respectful, whatever. But outside of that, I'm good. So yeah, so he needs to look up that definition of what cordial means, because yeah, no, I wouldn't have that wasn't an intelligent answer. to
Right.
pull on your wife. Anyway, but yes.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
So I was going to say, so that part, so then, but the whole inviting her on the day that y'all having a date day or date night or whatever, I think that was wrong.
Yeah.
I think that was totally wrong and rude.
Yeah. And this is where, and so, you know, again, this is reality TV. So this is where you have to kind of think and put your thinking cap on and go, okay, well, did Marsau really set this up, or was it production? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, I kind of got to give it a little, like, I don't know.
I mean, I
And then
guess
because production would probably literally say, hey, this is the opportunity for us to film this because we don't have this many days left or whatever, and we need to get this scene out of whatever, which it really didn't even need to be a scene. It could have really been a phone conversation, but whatever, I digress. But I just, and you know, I just always think about like production, you know, has the final say. So even if they are saying, hey, we want to get up and I want to shoot this scene, or I need to have this conversation with Mel, they're probably like, yeah, well, it needs to happen on this day, knowing that it was going to bring some form of discord between Tisha.
Right, which I understand, but it's like at some point, I didn't like the fact that she kept trying to explain herself and her position, and he just was acting like he just didn't understand where she was coming from. And so even if it was a production thing, at this point, it's like turning into an argument with your wife, and like everybody's getting really angry. So like, I don't know, pull her off camera and or pause it and say, this is what it is. Cause I felt like she was getting like seriously angry. Like, I think she started to cry, didn't
she? Yes, the first time I saw real tears. I'm sorry. It's hard for me. Her emotion, it's just weird. I don't know. I can't say how, you know, people obviously grieve differently and whatever, but
they started to cry. I mean, she crying and they cussing each other out, and it's like, okay, do you see where the lady is coming from? Like, could you have told her at another time? Like, you trying to at the same, like, I get it. Production probably made the final call. You trying to make a scene at the same time. Marsau, you trying to make a scene like a scene. So you like, okay, me and Tisha was gonna have our date night, but I'm gonna tell her at the date night that Mel, you know. But at this point, it's like I said, when it's getting to the point where your wife is crying, y'all cussing each other out, it's like, and maybe they did, because it seemed like he walked away, and maybe production might have said, you know, cut for a second and let's break this down for a second and come back and, and regroup. Because then she came back and she was like, I'm just gonna go spend the day with my kids. And I was like, oh, poor Tisha.
I was like, oh Lord. She was like, and I don't want to be with nobody but my own kids. I said, ooh. I was all right, girl. I guess so. She probably be talking to them kids all about their father. She probably like, Mom, you know how dad is. And she probably like, yes, I understand that, but I didn't. Let me tell you.
Mom, what happened to date day?
Date day. Anyway, but yes. I mean, you know, it goes to what you're always saying. You know how I have my little disdain for Marsau. I have like this amount of respect for him, and then I have like this amount of like disdain for him. So like you already know, like I know that you're like he's just a jokester and he's this and he's this, but I'm just like, yo, dude, like there's just certain things that you just like. The show has to like you have to stop. You just have to stop and say, nah, that's not appropriate. I'm not doing it. I'm not willing to do that. Right. Like I already know that my wife is already in a fragile place when it comes to them. And so I'm just not putting that on her even more, knowing that I know that this is what it is. So, and that's the thing. Like, I don't, you know, it's just like, this is what, and it's funny because this is where Tony is just like, I just feel like Marsau doesn't like Tisha. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, I don't, because I just couldn't see like a husband just just being like mad disrespectful like that. Like, why? It's not. There's nothing like no. Carlos King couldn't like. He couldn't gather. Like, if you now, you might be able to take confessionals and may be able to split and edit those things, but you're not gonna be able to sit me in a situation where, because I would have broke that fourth wall and said, y'all really think that this is appropriate? Who cut, who approved? Like they would have been like, wait a minute, hold on. You got to keep focusing. No, who approved? They do it in Love and Hip Hop all the time, child. So I would have been like, yeah, no, we're not about to.
Especially when it comes to my marriage, I would be like,
exactly.
I'm not about to do this for the television. So
I'll be like, oh, she's coming. Okay, well, cut, scene, we're done. We can reschedule this day and enjoy your meeting with Mel whenever she comes, and that's that. We're not going to give this any airtime. Goodbye. Like, it just, but poor Tisha she took the bait. Unfortunately, she took the bait and ran with it, and then she just was whatever. Like, and Chad, when she was like this, I ain't jealous of no mother effer. I said, ooh. I was like, no, wait a minute. I said that was a little. I don't believe that. That was I've never heard you talk to your husband like that.
Because I felt like she was like, what are you even talking about? Like, are you hearing me? I think it was just like it was more of a frustration with him, than Mel or whatever. Like, I think she just was like, okay, now you're just saying anything. Don't start the whole, now you sound like the internet, is probably what she was saying in her mind.
I mean, yeah. So,
but anyway, all of that just for Mel to come and be like, okay, that has nothing to do with me. So I was like, oh.
But see,
I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of rude.
But see, but see, here it is. Again, this is where, and I think this is what Tisha has to learn. Pretty much, Mel just did what I said she did. Instead of just saying, cut, scene, we're not doing this, I'm not doing it. She was just like, oh, is it about me? Was there anything said about me? Well, nope, I don't have anything to say. Whatever. She's like, I'm not going to entertain this. Like, I know that y'all might want to see, but I'm not giving y'all that. So,
yeah, but at the same time, Mel, you did sign up for a reality show. That's number one. And number two, it would be a point of contention when whatever Mark was going to do or is going to do came out. And then they'd be like, well, your brother's on the internet again talking about my mom. And so I felt like she should have gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was trying to give her the heads up when it came to her mother. Now, could he have reached out to Van directly? Probably. But
that or it could have just been like a simple phone call. I don't understand why they had to meet up. That's what I'm saying. Like, when she was just like, yeah, if I knew that this was what it was going to be about, I wouldn't have showed up. I would have just declined. And I'm like, I would have too. I would have been like, dude, why couldn't we just have had a phone conversation? Hey, Mel, this is Marsau. I just want to just talk to you. So I talked to Mark, whatever. It could have been real quick and easy. I don't understand why that was a scene. I don't. Like, and so again, like I said, I think she just was like, I'm checking out. Like, this is, why are we filming this? This is ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I was just like, all this for what? And then, like, he didn't even say anything, because I was waiting for him to be like, so I'm going to just let you know what it is that Mark stated. And he did, like, I'm like, so you're not even giving this lady any information.
Well,
so
did he give him the opportunity? Because I mean, he was like, well, she was like, what is it about? And when he was like, it's about, Mark and your mom or whatever. And she was like, I don't want to hear about it. It has nothing to do with me. And I was like, oh. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, she could have extended the olive branch and be like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll let my mom know or whatever. Like, it came off rude. Like, it came off like he was trying, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
When they on these reality shows, it's like, it's reality, but it's so much, as you and I both know, it's so much other stuff going on in the back, like just people trying to create scenes and it's like, it's reality, but then it's not. And then people are really just doing this because it is just to say. I mean, he could have been doing it just to say, when another argument down the line comes, and he'd be like, "Well, I did try to tell you, but you were the one who shut it down." And then he'll have the viewers on his side because they'd be like, "Well, he did try to tell you." So it's like everything has a back motive when you're on reality TV.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. So anyway, so we moving forward. So, we've got teed off Tisha. Teed off Tisha. And then messy Marsau and Mel sit down and didn't get nothing resolved. And then
the comeback crew discusses cancer.
Yes. So we have Kimmi, who then reveals to Martell and Mel, that they did have. That she did have cancer or whatnot. So so that was a great little a scene. Well, I would say a part of that scene was nice as far as Kimmi being there and them being
She
able
was
to.
being cordial.
Where she was like, "Hey girl, hey babe." I was like, all right. That was the I see you, you see me.
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
I'm saying
Anyway,
hi.
yes. So yes, so that was that. Anyway, obviously we get well the news beyond just Kimmi sharing her news about her going through just getting this diagnosis and what she's about to embark on. We get that Martell, because Kimmi it was like, oh, I heard you was the internet is talking, like
I
I
heard you
heard
got a
about
new
you.
boo.
The new boo. And of course, in good old Martell fashion, he's like, oh, I'm not, I mean, we're great friends. I was like, oh Jesus. I said,
We're
here
getting
we
to
go.
know each other.
I said, here we go. Martell, the same way that when Funky Dineva was like, he said that he's not even dating her, that he's just fixing her pool, and he was coming over to her house to give the permits and all this. I'm sitting here like, dog, you would just make up any old type of, like, I get it. I would have respected if you would have at least just said, my I would like to, there is some parts of my personal life at this point, especially who I'm moving forward in, I would like to reserve that for a good time, whatever. Can I say that is she my friend? Are we getting to know each other? Have we been out? Like, yeah, you could have just confirmed things without necessarily having to give like everything so that people, but to be like, to tell this whoever that you are a pool boy, and then and then now we on TV and you're like, oh yeah, we're well acquainted, we're getting to know each other, when we like, oh please,
Right.
you banging the She by Sheree back out, please stop.
And he said they met each other through a mutual friend. I would think that if the previous statement that he made was true, that he would be like, oh, somebody introduced me to her to work on her. She wanted to get a pool in her backyard and blah, blah, blah. He didn't say none of that. He just was like,
None
oh,
of
we
that.
met through a mutual friend. Like, Martell was such a liar.
And apparently the mutual friend was Carlos. Like, that's what they've been saying the whole time, that the mutual friend is Carlos King. So
Carlos King hooked them up. Can't trust Carlos King. I mean, he's single, Marcel's single, so he could date whoever he wants, but it's just weird. That's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Sheree has not been picking. Now, I will say this. This is what I will say. That obviously BravoCon happened like about a month or so and a half back or whatever. And when they did ask her about Martell or her new boo or whatever, she did say that she was not interested in getting married. she was just like, I'm out here. She said, and she also said, I am dating. So it didn't sound like, even though that him and her are doing whatever they're doing, it didn't, it seems like, I'm assuming that they have some form of agreement that, hey, we gonna do what we want to do. If you want to go out on other dates and you want to do whatever, and I'm just letting you know that I'm going to do whatever. I'm going whatever. It seems like that's the relationship that they have. It doesn't really seem like they have, like, there's like an official, like, you my boo, you the only one. Like, I really wanna like engage with you on a higher level of, yeah, I think we want to make this official. In that sense, I think it's just but of course we all, because we keep hearing that, next season of Housewives, which I will definitely make sure that I'll be tuning into, because I've not tuned in since a lot of the OGs have left. I just haven't. But I am a fan of Kenya. I love Kenya. I know people have their thing about Kenya, but I love Kenya and I love Candy. I know they think that Candy is boring and doesn't bring anything to the show, but I mean, I love them. So I think that and apparently Portia is possibly coming back. So
I think Cynthia may be. I haven't heard of Portia.
yes.
Maybe Portia is, but I know Cynthia is supposed to be coming back.
Mm-hmm. So
it's her
and I
Mike
like Cynthia too. Like
I like Cynthia too.
I love the OGs. Like, I just, once I found out there was like all of these like potential, like they were trying to bring in so many new people. Cause like they normally bring in like a one person or a friend of the, like, but they just, when they like was like doing it with, when they went from like Drew, then also Toya, who's was a YouTube influencer. And I mean, I followed her, so I knew who she was, and obviously I knew who Drew was.
Oh yeah, LaToya Forever, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like it just was like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a bit much.
It kind of yeah. So it was her, Drew, of course, which Drew stayed around, and then it was the girl. They were kind of introducing Simon's first wife,
right?
But now Portia done stole him, so they go bring Portia back.
Yeah, not stole them.
Fallon, Goodbye, whatever their last name is. And now it's Portia Goodbye, so.
Oh, Portia, like, y'all can give me another spinoff with the Goodbye. But yeah, so anyway, so that's that.
Monyetta is on there now too. I don't know if she'll become a permanent cast member, but she's been like a friend to the show for the last year or whatever. On Neo's ex.
Mm-hmm. So I will definitely be tuned in to see what Mr. Martell brings to this. Whatever.
Apparently, him and Kenya have a little altercation.
Yes, for sure. And the one thing that I would definitely say that I don't know if Martell was ready for, but if he thought that Melody Holt was much, let me tell you, the Housewives of Atlanta, baby, it's a whole nother ball game.
It really is.
They do not play, especially. I can only imagine going back and forth with Kenya Moore, because she probably was pulling receipts after receipts after receipts after receipts.
Not just Kenya, because I like Kenya, but what's her name Kenya will, jab you, but what's her name gets dirty. So he need to watch out Marlo. Marlo will Marlo.
The only person that I felt
be
like
at the party and Ariana will show up with Marlo's guest.
The only person I felt like really handled Marlo was Eva. I wouldn't actually buy it if Eva came back. Eva just got to stop lying. She kept getting caught up in some lies. I was like, Eva.
She'd be like, I didn't say that. And he'd be like, Eva, you did.
But then they would just always play it back. And I'd be like, I'm like, it's right here.
I'd be like, why she up there saying she didn't say it? She did.
Yeah. So, but yes, when her and Marlo used to go back and forth, I'd be like, oh Lord. Anyway, so I say all that to say that so I think that Housewives would be getting their ratings way back up, because people are going to definitely be tuned in, like, oh, I got to see how this plays out. Like, what is this? How is this happening? please, Sheree, do not move Marcel Holt into your home.
You have
Girl,
a beautiful home too, and
beautiful home. Okay, like leave that unblemished. Leave all the blemished peen out of the home. Okay, like because you don't want that stain in there. Once y'all are finished doing whatever y'all doing, you don't want to have to be like, oh, I need this gutted out because this was his favorite spot, and this is
well, I
where we
wonder if he's
would.
still fussing with Melody about being in Atlanta all the time now that he is in Atlanta all the time. Remember that was an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though she was saying that she was seeing her thing. Did you know? I didn't know this, but because obviously I look at other commentary, but I did not know that there was a rumor about Mel and Hill Harper. I didn't know. And I was
I didn't know that either.
I was like, but that's actually a beautiful come up because I love Hill Harper. Like, if y'all don't know about Hill Harper,
is he little?
Is he little?
Like short?
I was about to be like, Ronnie, I don't know that.
Not his privacies. I'm talking about his stature.
I was like, I said I love the man, but I don't. I was trying to say, oh my God, my husband would be like, what's going on?
Right.
Anyway.
Why would she ask my wife about that man's penis? No, I didn't mean that. I love Hill Harper too. I watch him every week on The Good Doctor. But I thought he looks like he's short.
So I think no, he's not. Yeah, I don't think that he's probably between, like, I would say 5'6", 5'8" at the most. But I love him. Like I've followed his work, like outside of him being an actor, just like from him, just his philanthropy work. I read his book, well, a good portion of it. Like he's just his like that would be such a beautiful come up for her. Like if that were to even have been an entertain. Now apparently they're like, oh no, they're just friends or whatever like that. But like I would love that for Mel, because that would definitely like be a man that, yeah, like, and see, this is why when she's like, oh, I don't know if I would necessarily want to get married or whatever, like, nah, girl, that would be a man that you would marry. Now that would be a man that you marry, because that man, he's got his stuff together. He has not, he doesn't, well, he did adopt, he has an adopted son, but he's never been married.
His son is adopted. I thought that was his I don't know, like I thought him and his girlfriend or whatever had a baby. I didn't know. Well, his previous girlfriend.
No, he adopted his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that would be a great come up for her, if that ever played out. But apparently they've already debunked that, and I just was late to the party. I didn't know that was even.
Yeah, I never heard that.
But apparently, like, Martell was like he was like, oh, well, you over here with Hill Harper. And she was like, what are you talking about?
Just jealous.
Yeah, well, that would be someone to be jealous of, because that's a man, again, that has their stuff together, has been had their stuff together, and there's no comparison when it comes to the quality of a man. So maybe he can mentor you, because he does do that.
I'm sure he can pass his test. Did he ever get his license? Like, what happened with that? Melanika? What happened? Melanika, where you at?
I don't know where Melanika is, child. She was like,
Melanika, when they started, when Marcel started saying stuff about Melanika, like, been together since high school or whatever, she said, let me get off here before I lose my husband.
Yeah, see, he was like, they called us up and said, hey, Melanika, you think you want to film? No, I'm done. But we haven't, and not only that, though, we still missing a whole couple. Tiffany and Big Lou, like, where they been?
Wherever they at, let them stay
there. I guess they were using that time to create their. Do we know what they're having? Are they having a boy?
A boy?
Oh, they're having a boy. Okay.
Yeah, I think they. She announced it. I'm pretty sure she said a boy, because I was like, dang, Big Lou. you might be 2 years from now, she might be trying again, talking about she want to have a girl.
Girl. Yeah. So,
but
well.
I noticed on social media, I don't know if it's something, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seems like Stormy and Mel aren't on the same terms anymore. I just feel like maybe I used to see them like posting each other, and all of that's been scrubbed from their pages, and they don't really post each other anymore. I mean, it could be nothing, because I know, like, me personally on Instagram, I scrubbed my page too. Like, I think I have like 4 pictures on me, where I used to have like 100. So it could be that, or she could Stormy might have just wanted to focus mainly like on her products on her page, but it's just so, I don't know. And then I guess with the whole Stormy kind of hanging with the Scotts and Destiny, it just was it just felt like something's going on. But of course, if it is, we'll find out. We'll know.
Reunion should be coming up. Was it next week? Because I think there's maybe it's next week.
Probably 2 more episodes before the reunion.
Oh, maybe.
Because next week is next week they showed a clip, right?
Well, you mean tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
That's what I was like.
I forgot what day it is. Like, I'm sorry, Cuzzos. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a week.
I was like, that's why I was like, I feel like it's next week.
So tomorrow's episode is the last of the season, and then the reunion.
I think so. Okay. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I don't know, but I know that there have been sneak peeks or trailers to the reunion.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So, but so we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Yes, I know. I saw a clip of all of their horrible dancing. Destiny, Stormy,
Cordial. Maurice being the worst.
Marsau looking like he was trying to run away from Tisha. It was like, what is going on?
Maurice looked like he. Do you remember those toys they used to have? It was in a box. It was a Jack in a box, and you turned it, and the thing pop out, and like, I was like, what is he doing? He's like, I don't know. It's just like, Kimmi, get your man.
That's funny. Yeah, no.
And he was like falling behind Kimmi, and I was like, this is cringy.
Yeah, no, it was. They were.
And poor Courtney was back there. He probably said, well, why did I sign up for this?
Yeah, no, they just it was giving somebody. It was funny. Somebody on or live was like, it's giving senior citizens night out. I was like, that's senior citizen.
They would have did better just staying in place trying to do it instead of trying to go around in a circle and do it. Because
they were trying to do something.
Obviously, they didn't have enough.
I was like, but anyway, y'all. So we'll be staying tuned in, but you guys let us know your thoughts on this past weekend episode, and like, sound the alarm. Was Marsau wrong? Did Tisha's jealousy take over? Was it jealousy, or was it just out of concern and respect for her marriage? Did that beat up even needed to happen between Mel and Marsau? Was Mel, standoffish towards Marsau, just trying to let her in on information since they said that this was the agreement? Y'all set the alarm. Let us know in the comment section. Yeah. Until next time, peace. But always don't forget to hit that subscribe button, level on that like button, share. Am I pointing the right way? Yeah, everything she said. We appreciate it always. And we are out. Peace out.